Mark, thanks so much for coming back and linking up with us for this Road 10 questions and stuff, man.
Of course.
Mark, what's your favorite city to DJ in?
I still think it's New York.
Yeah.
I think it's just where I came up, the clubs that I know. I mean, the amazing thing is when you just go to some place that you've never been and it's like Warsaw and you have no idea if anybody knows any of your records or anything, and you just go and you're just like, you don't know if 200 people are going to show up or 800 people, and you have this great crowd. So that's always the surprise of traveling is incredible. But New York and then London.
And New York and London?
Dope.
On the flip side, what's your least favorite city to DJ in? Or maybe what's a city you had like the worst experience DJing in?
I had a terrible set in Miami one time at Live. It was just at a point where I was a little lazy. I hadn't practiced in a while. Like my solo record version with Valerie had like done well. So I think I was like feeling myself like I just go in and play records I made, like who cares? And like it was like Ross Swan and DJs that I care about and kind of around, and it was just like I just looked out of touch. And I just remember thinking like, but then I've gone back to Live and had great sets, and
right.
I've had some of my favorite sets, certainly in the 90s and early 2000s at like Crowbar and Opium and all those clubs in I remember Khaled DJing my album release party in Miami for my first album in 2003.
That's
like
crazy.
Just great times in Miami because Miami and New York had such a strong connection.
Mm-hmm.
Does weather kind of like make you play better, or some type of way? Do you like the mood of what's going on in the world change your performance?
I think so. I think that you can't help but like get to like some tropical place. You get to like the UAE or like Dubai, and you're like in sweltering heat, and like maybe playing like an Artifacts record seems odd. Like there's like, or like there was always that thing about everyone used to say like, Snoop is for a convertible and Nas is for the subway. Like the way the different, the different like things make you think about music and surroundings. I'm sure it filters in.
What's your absolute favorite thing to eat after a gig? Like guiltiest pleasure, most gluttonous, indulgent, thing?
Probably Blue Ribbon fried chicken, because Blue Ribbon was like the place that was one of the few restaurants that was still open late night in the 90s, and like you would go in there. Like I would just go with my boys, but like there'd be like a table that would come in with like Mariah Carey and like Q-Tip and all these like people that were so larger than life, like coming in because it was just the spot, because it was open till like 5 a.m. So, but I mean, there were also plenty of times where like I think the 90s my go-to was just going to the J&N Deli on the corner of Broadway and getting a roast beef on a roll with extra mayo, lettuce, tomato, salt, and pepper. That was me and DJ LePo like every night after a gig.
Oh man, that's great. Is there a particular routine or ritual that you have before a gig, before a performance?
I just get so weird and anxious and nervous. Like I'm so honest with my wife. I'm like, I love having you around, but like I'm so miserable and not fun to be around just before a gig. I usually just like, I'll see you in the crowd and let's hang out after. Like it's just, it's a weird thing. It's like it's a combination of nerves, like anticipation to get on. And I used to, be more easy with taking a shot or a drink to like take the nerves off, but now I really like want my hand-eye coordination as much as possible. So it's a weird one. I just like what actually I started doing, because I just saw that like Diplo and all these like big DJs just had like, oh, you can ask for a setup in the dressing room. Because the thing that always makes me so nervous is like that first time your fucking hands touch, whether it's the CDJ fucking thing or the vinyl or turntables. Like if I have a little bit of a warm up like in the thing and it's not so unfamiliar, it hasn't been like 6 hours, that feels better. So I like having that. If that's the kind of gig, I can even just have a controller in the room.
Yeah. I'm the exact same way, so I know exactly how you feel. I would have never expected that you felt that way as well. That's crazy.
Also, I sound like such an asshole for somebody who like came up playing clubs like in the dressing room. It's like, motherfucker, there's no dressing room in a club. This is just like when I have a gig or a festival or like a kind of like more, corporate kind of thing.
Yeah. Would you pay to go to a club to see an AI DJ?
Is it like a hologram or is it just literally like
That's what I
software?
said.
Like
Yeah,
the thing
yeah.
is just moving.
I mean,
If it's like a great hologram of Clark Kent, like I would think about it. But just plain old AI,
Just to hear the
can't
selection.
imagine. Well, the selection would be as good as whatever it listened to and was programmed by, I guess. So I'd be interested, maybe. I don't know.
what are your thoughts on AI, even from a producer, from a production level?
There's some things about it, like, because if you think about it, even when we're ripping stems, that's AI, right? It's using artificial intelligence to tell what the bass and the drums and the frequencies. So we're already
Right.
using AI, and I'm fine with it in some regards. I think as a creative tool of music, it's still, I might just be so out of touch and just sound like that old guy, but I still believe that there's like something in the human soul and experience that goes into all the music that we love, and like it's like that will always be preserved, I hope. But of course you can't tell. The difference is getting narrower and narrower, like being able to tell the difference.
If you could choose any DJ to mentor you, who would you choose?
That's a really good question. I don't even think now when I think about DJs and mentors, like that my mind would initially first go to somebody older, but actually like the DJs that are half my age are half of the people that I'm like interested in and checking out and asking like, hey, what are you playing? Like, because those are the people that are like in the clubs. Like that's who I need to actually get my like
Oh wow.
my fix from when I'm talking. You know, obviously
Right.
there's people my age that are still heavy in the clubs and doing it, but it's like it's actually like whoever is me from whoever's 25-year-old me from 19 whatever the fuck 99 now, like that's who I want to go see play and see what's going on. So that could be like, I don't know, that could be like going out to see Politic or Zach Beer or Hank Corson or anyone who's just like super in love with this shit and playing 5 nights a week.
Right.
Dope.
That's such a great answer. What's one of your most memorable nights DJing? Unforgettable.
I mean, playing New Music Cafe, that was the Tuesday night party that was called Sweet Thing. That was really the first party that like I had opened for a lot of people at that point, played really small rooms. That was the first thing I built myself. And I'll never forget Biggie and Jay coming in and like these matching, I think they were 25 years ago, so I may be misremembering a detail or two, but matching white hats, like these amazing white, like gangster, like I think it was Big or Jay's birthday, and they were both dressed. They must have said like, "Let's get dressed up tonight," like matching like crazy white, like just like amazing sort of just American gangster suits,
That's dope.
and just coming in, and you know there were so many nights at Sweet Thing. Actually, there were nights like Pun was there, and I'd be in the middle of DJing, and the fire alarm would go off, and it literally would sound like Pearl Harbor, like invading like Canal Street. Like the sirens were so crazy. People were like, what the fuck? And you know, when you used to hear that thing go off, like you might duck or think that a fight was going out or look out for a flying beer bottle. And then it was just Pun because it was so hot in the club. He had to keep like kind of putting it, you know, kneeing the fire escape to get the fresh air. And then after like the third time of like DEFCON 5 sirens, people were like, oh, it's just Pun. It's just Pun getting fresh air. There was a lot of nights like that.
Oh man. What's your favorite song to end the night with?
It changes because I've rinsed the certain ones. It used to be for so long. It was All I Do by Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Told you.
Yeah. You love that song, right? Yeah, that like you named your label your label after that.
Yeah. It's just like we made the terrible mistake of naming our label something that nobody knew how to pronounce. You're like, is it Alito? Is it All I Do? Saigon started saying Alito, and then that was just what it was.
We all called it Alito.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was that like right wing like Supreme Court justice who got voted in the same year, Samuel Alito, and we're like, this is bad timing. That's definitely one of them. And then on the like the slow jam front, like there was always records like Janet Jackson, Funny How Time Flies, or
That's pretty cool.
whatever.
That's dope.
The Ramp, Daylight, those kind of ones as well.
Everybody
Summer
Loves the
Madness was
Sunshine.
always a great one.
Yeah.
Everybody Loves the Sunshine.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your relationship with music right now?
I mean, it's so crazy. You know, last night, Sunday, I went to to see Ellie Escobar and Lloyd do Tiki Disco, the
Oh,
really great
man.
long running party.
So crazy, yeah.
At a knockdown center.
Yeah.
And I had never been to that party. It's been around for 15 years. It was so incredible. I mean, it's definitely like they're getting into like pretty hard techno at some point. It's like, but it's a dance music party. It almost feels like stories I heard about body and soul in the 80s and early 90s. Like maybe it's 3,000 people, the best vibe, you know, mix of queer, straight, black, white, Spanish, everything. And people are just having the best time. And I needed to just see that. And Ellie and Lloyd are fantastic DJs. And, you know, last night I played 2 parties. I played an early charity thing, and then a second thing for McAllen. And I just went in there like, you know what? I'm not going to play any of my own records. Sort of like building off what we had talked of. Not going to lean on any of my own records. I'm just going to play like I've never made a record and just like I love music. And I was inspired from the energy that I just caught on the Sunday night going to see those guys at Tiki. And it was just the best night. I had to really think about what I was going to play. There was no falling back on, you know, I might have played Valley or Uptown Funk like very much at the top. And it was just such a great feeling. The crowd, it was better all around. I felt better at the end of the night, and I felt like a younger version of myself, which was nice. So there's nights where I'm just fully back in love with music all the time.
Right. So you're on a high. You're like on a 9 and a 10 right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But if you had asked me a week ago after like some shitty gig, also, you know, I played Vampire Weekend. I opened for them at Madison Square Garden on Saturday. So I like spent the entire week like working out blends with fucking the Grateful Dead and all the shit I think that their fans would like, and like putting old fucking jam band songs over like Dipset. Like it was just so stupid, but I still love doing that shit.
Right.
I can't imagine ever getting tired of like that very nerdy like designing for a set.
So it's your birthday party. You can have any DJ you want. You could have any performer you want, and at any venue you want. Which DJ, which performer, which venue are you choosing?
Fuck. Can I have like 2 or 3 DJs?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Goldie, I would really put you right up there because you're one of my all-time favorite from. And I know you guys have talked about this so much, but Goldie was the first person I ever saw on CDJs, really, or like hip hop, and kill it. And it was so exciting, and you're just such a great DJ to watch, and technically and taste. And it was like, I remember the first time you like gave me a compliment, and it was like so fucking meaningful because I just really held you in such high esteem.
No, it's definitely reciprocated. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. So, well, you should see me lately, but so Goldie, I'd say like Goldie, Ellie, maybe Stretch.
Wow.
Yeah, the venue, some fucking basement. I don't even know what the venues are anymore, but I always like a basement. Low ceiling basement with those guys. And then if anyone was going to get up and perform, Stevie, that's just so not going to happen. But yeah. Be a little bit more realistic and be like, would Busta Rhymes do it? You know?
That's what's up.
He would definitely do it. He'd be around there.
I remember him coming to Table 50 and just like, if he heard an instrumental or we played a song he liked, we'd play like OC Times Up, and he would get so excited and make us play the instrumental and just start rapping over it.
Table 50 was the shit though, man. That was a fucking dope party.
Mark, who's someone you'd like to say thank you to that you never got a chance to thank before?
Well, it's funny, you know, it's like I when I came up, I really looked up to Stretch so much, like to the point of like biting a lot of his mixes and stuff. And I know like he was just kind of like not extremely thrilled about that shit at the time. And it's cool that we've gotten to be close, and I've talked to him a lot for this book. But I mean, I probably have told him, he knows that I like what a fan, but I think from listening to the radio show and that, and then I think I've like seen a lot of the people like Pete Rock, like Mecca and the Soul Brother was like the first record that really like put me that and Daily Operation kind of set me on the path. Like that was when I was like, I have to do something in this fucking music. Like, but they all know I'm always like, if there was somebody that I hadn't thanked, I can't think of it at the moment. Sorry.
No, that was great. What's your first I made it moment?
I think that first gig I think we talked about it for a second, but
Yeah.
in Manchester, England, I went down there and Ooh was out.
Right.
And Ooh had done fine in New York, but it hadn't changed anything about my life. It was like, oh, it was cool. The DJ we like now, he has a record out. But it was a hit in England, and it actually came out the same week as Be Faithful. So Be Faithful was like #1 for 7 weeks. And I think we just scraped like in at like number 11. But it was also fun. I was doing a lot of shows with Scoop around England because he was doing all his promo at the same time.
Rest in peace.
But
Yes, sir.
rest in peace, Scoop. And just going to this place, and people had brought like my 12-inch with a Sharpie to sign, and I was like, what the fuck? Like the only time in New York people bring me a pen is when the check comes, like this is crazy. So I thought
dope.
that was very exciting.
Yeah, that's dope.
Now, you work with a whole bunch of people. I mean, all over the industry or whatever. Has there ever been a person that you were starstruck about?
Yeah, definitely. Well, this isn't music, but I met Adam Sandler on the street last week and we got pretty starstruck. I think anybody who makes music that's moved me in some way, that somehow is like, kind of new age as this sounds, has like somehow moved the molecules in my body when I've got excited about that song. It doesn't matter if they've made one song and they're 19 or they're like 37 or 70, like they wield some kind of magic to me. So I'm always a little geeked when I meet somebody who's done something
dope.
special. So it's always there a little.
That's dope.
What profession other than your own would you have loved to do?
I mean, it would have had to be something in music. So I feel like from DJing to producing music, like sort of covers it. I mean, I guess teaching music would be maybe
Really?
the only other thing.
Wow.
I loved writing, so I wrote for like some zines and ego tripping on the go when I was like 18, 19, but I didn't have the stomach to write like a review of like a Sadat X single and then see him in the club like 3 days later. I was like, this is like that you have to have a thick skin to be a really honest journalist, and that there were people that were much better at writing than that, and yeah.
Oh, that's great. And then this is the last question. It's a little morbid, but as a DJ, I feel like it's something that we only DJs would think about. But what's the last song you would want played at your funeral?
Maybe Ashford and Simpson, Bougie Bougie. It's just like a really beautiful instrumental disco classic, and it's pretty, and it's gorgeous. They have the string and arrangement, and you can dance, and you just want people to dance and sort of experience a little beauty, and that would be cool.
Oh, wow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mark, thank you so much. I mean, you had to leave, and we were keeping you so late. We apologize for keeping you late last time we were recording, and thank you for being such a G and hopping on a Zoom with us to do this Roll 10 thing. Man,
I really love this podcast. Like I said, I discovered it like weirdly just so recently, but I'm just having so much fun going through the archives, and you guys go really deep, so I'm really happy to have this time.
Show them the rug. Show them.
Oh, yeah. Before we leave, I just wanted to show you what we didn't have time to talk about it, but that rug
Yeah, which
record,
one did we do? Which one do I have one on there?
Yeah, so
Or is
this
that
is the
just
one I was gonna have you sign it because this is because it's like the only project that I was involved with Mark Ronson. You know what I'm saying? So, but you did the Bombs Over Scotland blend.
What did you do on it?
I did the 03 Bonnie and Clyde with Arrested Development.
Oh, I still play that. That's crazy. You did that?
Yeah.
That's dope.
And I was on the mic doing ad libs and talking shit.
Oh, that's cool. I got a story in the book how my band's first gig, I managed to hustle us a gig opening for Arrested Development, and we were absolutely, well, read the book. But yeah, it's funny that when we were like 16 and so they were just had Tennessee, it just was just out. Man, they were great. All right. I gotta go.
Mark,
We
thank
gotta
you
have
so
you
much.
back.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Thank you,
Peace,
Mark.
guys.
All right.
Peace,
Thank
man.
you.
Have a great
Thank
one.
you. Bye.
Bye.